Hey everyone, welcome back to Shock Mania for yet another horror movie preview. This time, we're going to Indonesia. Now, I've said this before, Indonesia pumps out horror movies. We're talking dozens every year, maybe up to 100 horror movies. Most of them don't make it to the cinema. Most of them are just, video streaming on demand. But there are quite a lot that actually do make it to cinema. This is one of them. This is coming out in March. They've actually thrown English subtitles on this one, so I didn't have to do any work in getting this translated. This is already done for us by the film producer. This is called, and I'm going to say this wrong, so I apologize in advance, RONGGEng KEMATIAN, which translates to Dance of Death. So a bit of an idea about where this one might be about. Now, it is typical Indonesian. I had a bit of a quick look at this one before it started, and your mileage may vary on this one, depending how much you really get into Indonesian-type horror films. But anyway, let's check it out first, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about this one. And look, it is typically moody Indonesian-type horror film. It does deal with another one of their superstitions.
Sejak Sulastri hilang 7 tahun yang lalu, saya belum menemukan pengganti penari ronggeng sejati desa Mangunsari.
So RONGGEng is how I should have pronounced it. You're going to look at this, if you know Indonesian horror, you're going to look at this and go, oh, I think I know what the vibe of this movie is.
Pak Marto, saya baru tahu apa yang sesungguhnya terjadi terhadap Sulastri.
Selamat datang kembali ke desa Mangunsari.
4 bulan kita di sini. Dan 1 malam yang ngubah hidup kita semua. Terus siapa pelakunya?
It's a bit of a thriller as well as a horror film, this one.
Kalau saja mereka mau mengaku, mungkin nasib mereka masih ada yang bisa kita selamatkan.
Kalau dia mengaku satu tuduhan, belum ada yang mati.
And this is the part of the trailer that started getting a bit weird for me. That kind of laugh reminds me really of the Evil Dead from the 80s. This one. Alright, cool. So there's a fair bit to deconstruct from this particular trailer. A couple of things first. Let's go over the synopsis, and it'll give you a bit of an idea about some of the inspiration behind this film. So the synopsis is... Oh, God, where's my mouse? There we go. 4 men... who are studying their KKN. Now, this is probably why I'm saying straight away, if you know Indonesian horror movies, you know about KKN. This is why this looks familiar. So 4 KKN students are suspected of being involved in the disappearance of a RONGGEng dancer named Sulastri. Terror never stops haunting them. Who is the real perpetrator? There's a bit of an extended synopsis here. They receive a terrifying invitation to return to the village where they served their apprenticeship, or their KKN, 7 years ago. What should be a reward instead becomes a terrifying experience when they meet Sulastri, the vengeful and scary ghost of a RONGGEng dancer. Filled with evil, Sulastri seeks not reward, but rather their destruction, unleashing a terrible trail of terror upon them. I like the sound of this one, although it does give off a bit of a cheapish look of a KKN film, of which there is a sequel to KKN coming as well very soon. So this is going to be competing with it in the box office. Behind this film, the director is Verdi Solaiman. Now, you're not going to probably know too much about who this guy is, but just to give you a bit of a pedigree, he's been in about 100 movies as an actor. One of those films was The Raid. So if you've seen The Raid, which is probably one of the most popular or famous Indonesian movies of all time, he was in that. He's also in one of a horror movie that I really enjoyed from 2009 called The Forbidden Door. So this guy, I'm kind of trusting him as the director of this film to pull out something really good. The cast doesn't really ring too much of a bell, although the main actress here, called Nirmala, who I believe is playing the dancer, she was actually in Satan's Slaves 2, which is probably one of my favorite Indonesian horror movies of all time. If you have not seen any of the Satan Slaves films, they are fantastic. And part 2, called Communion, is terrific. Now, what is a ronggeng dancer? I had to look this up. A ronggeng dancer is a type of Javanese dance in which couples exchange poetic verses as they dance to the music of a violin and a gong. This is originally from Java in Indonesia. So as we can see, this is based on yet another Indonesian folklore, another Indonesian spirit, where they've taken that and turned it into a horror movie, taking then inspiration from KKN in the Dancers Village as well. This one comes out middle March. I would expect international release on this one. I would definitely expect perhaps an Amazon release, maybe if we're lucky, even a Netflix release. I don't know who picked up KKN, but I'm thinking along the same lines as that. So if you like your Indonesian horror movies, if you like those kind of village type horror movies like this one is, picking up the themes of dancing, picking up the themes of vengeful spirits, I think this one could be worth it. While, like I said, it does look a little bit on the cheapish side, but that is Indonesian horror for you. Not massive budgets to produce really elaborate horror films. But this one could be fun to watch. So keep an eye out for it. Ronggeng, and I can't remember the name of it. What's it called again? Ronggeng Kematian. I'm the Artie Dance. You've been watching Shock Mania. Press like if you want to see the movie. Press dislike if you don't think you want to see it. I will catch you in our next movie preview.